Hey guys, welcome to a reaction episode of Aren't You Exhausted? Typically this is a podcast, but today you're in luck. I am doing a bonus episode and we are going to be reacting to a couple of Chantal's more controversial live streams. These haven't been deleted yet to my knowledge. If they have, I've luckily saved the better portions. And we're going to be having a discussion. I am your host, Ashley. I am by myself today for the reaction, though Liam will be joining me later on tonight when we go to record the podcast, which will be available on the podcasting apps listed below in the description box, as well as here on YouTube. But it'll be kind of discussing the same things, only with Liam's added commentary and going more in depth on other things. But we are going to go on ahead. I'm going to listen to bits and pieces and then give my commentary. I will pause the video as I give my commentary, and then we will pick up and continue on with the discussion. So here we go. This is Chantal's first live stream where she was on her way to her mother's house for Family Day in Canada that was celebrated on President's Day here in America. She had just picked up, it looks like, McDonald's and was eating brunch on her way to eat dinner at her family's house. So I'm going to push play and we will continue from there.
I can't look at the chat, but alright. I can't look at the chat. And I don't even know if anyone's here, but you'll get to see this after. I just want you all to know I'm here whenever I listen, I don't want to say I pay attention to drama all the time, but I just want to say how grateful I am sitting here with my husband, like, not physically with him right now, but listening to how men treat, listening to married men compliment other women on how they look, listening to...
I love how in her newfound Muslim religion and lifestyle that she will be living in the Middle East, how it's supposed to be modest and you're supposed to be nice and caring of other people and you're not supposed to talk shit on people. We are here talking shit on her fellow neighbors in Kuwait. She is bringing up the fact that Allah is speaking with Jessica Messica. Now, this is probably just for views and for the drama surrounding it, but there's a bunch of rumors going around. I don't know how authentic any of them are, and what the end game is with it, but regardless, Chantal is upset about it and feels it's immoral and has to comment on it when it's not any of her business. It's not her relationship with him. Yes, he is Salah's friend, but as she wishes of everybody else to mind their own business when it comes to her relationship online, maybe she should take a note from her own book and mind her own business. It's not any of her business why she feels the need to discuss it. It's just for views. This is to pull in people and put down people, comparing them to her relationship that she has with Salah. Now, I don't want to bag on anybody's relationship, but this one is a little different because I feel like there is motive behind it, and we'll get more into that later especially because I have some information that has been shared with me that I wish to just kind of put out there. But for her to have to put down other people's relationships or flaws in relationships to make her current relationship appear better is just kind of telling of how flawed her view of relationships are, not to mention how flawed her relationship is. A lot of people try to deflect off of their relationship for people to inquire any further on it by putting other people's business out there, and this is what she's doing. Obviously,
married men, how they're talking to other women when they're married, how some men are abusive and using certain women in this community.
Also, this is another thing I want to touch on. Chantal is shitting on people going after married men and for married men entertaining the other woman, so to speak, when not even, 6 months ago? Not even a year ago, Chantal was the other woman. She knowingly hooked up on more than one occasion with a married man. Not to mention, throughout her past relationships, she has been with men that have been in relationships with other women. Her three-way stories, her stories of sleeping with men in a situation where they had a significant other, but the significant other didn't want to be in the relationship with Chantal. They just wanted that to go on. Not to mention the whole fact that the threesome story with Nader and Didi happening. I mean, she knew that they were messing around and still decided to be a part of it. You know, you can make choices. This was a bad choice. So for her to get so butthurt over other people's moral decisions, I feel like she should really reflect on her own moral decisions that she's made both in the past and currently.
How some married men allow other people to enter their DMs and talk to them. I just want to say, what was that? I just want to, I'm not going to be live for long. And I'm not even looking at the chat. I just want to greet you if you are here. Hello, everybody. I just want to give that PSA that while anyone is criticizing, and I know it's just all for view, drama, whatever, but I just want to point that out. While these men out there acting like boys, my man is a real man, treating me like a queen. So
also, the eye rolls and the smugness just really are off-putting. Not very Muslim, modest woman of you. And you don't know what Salah does behind closed doors. You're not in his presence right now. And even though you like to think that because you have it set up to where you guys don't go more than an hour without speaking to one another, which is toxic in itself and really shows a lot of insecurity on both parties, you don't know what he's doing, honestly, especially with how avid that he uses WhatsApp, which is telling for a lot of relationships. If the man has those kind of apps, it's really easy to hide things. Also, like, he can tell you that he's going to bed at night, and maybe he doesn't go to bed right away for a few hours. You don't know what he's doing. And despite you thinking that you know everything, you thought that about Nodder too. And look where that got you.
Stay mad. By the way, I'm going to have dinner with my family for Family Day.
In 600 meters, turn right onto Frank Kenny Road.
But I have to have a meal. I didn't have lunch or breakfast, so I'm having lunch and breakfast before I go have supper. So, but
turn right onto Frank Kenny Road.
That's none of my business. So, what street am I on right now? Is this Frank Kenny? Where the heck am I going?
Continue on Frank Kenny Road for 17 kilometers.
Oh yeah, I'm on the right track. So, I have to go because I just can't be live right now. But I want to say that I'll be back later tonight. Maybe we'll bees. I don't know what time I'll be home. But I just wanted to give a shout out to the most wonderful man for being wonderful, non-cheating, non-abusive, non-everything I'm hearing, all this gross behavior. Like,
I really don't get this whole gloat on Sala being a real man and not being abusive towards her, whatever. She thinks that, but through the live streams alone, we've seen kind of their dynamic. And if he's going to, quote unquote, nudge you when you aren't talking appropriately, when he's talking about your weight all the time, how heavy you are breathing, it's kind of a form of abuse. It may not seem that way to a lot of people, but he's censoring you and how he feels that you should be perceived by other people. Now, that's not really typically an issue for, Muslim or super conservative men. But where the issue lies is that you aren't a conservative woman. No matter how much you try to play it up that you are, your actions are speaking so much louder than what you are trying to perceive yourself as. I granted a tiger can't change its stripes overnight, if at all. Honestly, if you're looking at the biology standpoint. But of course, you're not going to be able to change this way of thinking overnight. It's been ingrained in you for 40 years, this type of entitlement and just gluttonous, super absorbed, impulsive, sickness. So to a point, people can't fault you, but if you continue to act this way and show no signs of real change, it's going to be harder and harder to take you seriously as trying to be this not convert, revert of Muslim. It's very difficult. I think you should take a page out of your friend, Aisha's book. She seems a little more modest and she kind of knows when to shut up, whereas you do not have that filter. And it seems like you've both been in this sort of limbo with revert ideology. So for like the same time frame. So you should really be asking yourself, why is she able to hold her tongue so much more than I am? She doesn't have a husband. She's seeking a husband, I think. And you have a husband and you still aren't able to like pull the reins in. I mean, even he can't control you. So what's going to be that changing point for you, if at all? I still feel like you're still quote unquote cosplaying as a Muslim woman.
No, that ain't my life anymore. Thank you. So thank you very much. Bye. Just another Muslim doll. You're like the only one in here. Nobody likes me anymore, or what? Nobody ever did. Who am I kidding? You. I blocked a bunch of people, so chat's gonna be late, but I'm losing my mind, so what else is new? Hi, Gemini Gem. All right, teeth clean. I never look at myself much in the mirror except when I go live, so did all the other PIBs get euthanized? Yeah. Sharon, basic. I'm just not in the mood for like trolling these days.
Now, this is the live stream where Chantal got very vain, very full of herself, and just, I mean, she was her typical self. We're used to seeing this from her at this point. She's just wearing the hijab to cover a lot of what we would normally see, but still the very same person underneath all of the clothing. We're gonna continue watching and comment accordingly.
I have to be in the mood. Ew! My smile looks old. I need collagen. Is there a way to stop aging? Anna G! Hey, Aisha! The lip color is nice. Thank you. I'll tell you what it is. Rimmel 107. The Kate lipsticks, I swear. Hello, my lovely queen. Hello, Beezers. Hello, my lovely Beezer King. You know, hi everybody, baby mama Ash, A+. My family day was nice. I saw my family and, what was I gonna say? I don't remember. Damn. We are your 5 Beezers. Yeah, I blocked a whole bunch of Beezers. I'm tired of people attacking me, okay?
She claims that she's tired of people attacking her. It's not really attacking, it's more holding her accountable for her actions and the actions of those that she surrounds herself with and has relationships with. So it's not really attacking, it's just holding her accountable. She has it confused.
Thank you, baby mama. Yeah, in Canada today it's a national holiday. It's a federal holiday. It's Family Day. So basically they give people the day off unless you work at Tim Hortons or McDonald's. No, I'm kidding. I love your laugh, sweetheart. Aw, well, I love your cute face. Hello, Sharon. Hello, everybody. So I can't even post a video, a small video, appreciating how well my husband treats me. And it gets... it gets crapped on. And, oh, right.
All right, gonna stop you there, Chantal. It gets crapped on because it's fake. It's fake. It gets crapped on because your standards are so low for what a relationship should look like that it's just laughable at this point. You take your baseline is Nodder, and while already that wasn't a great relationship, that's not what you should base your relationships on. And also, of course, any relationship compared to Nodder, what you and Nodder had, is going to be an improvement. But that's not saying that this relationship, air quotes relationship, is without flaws either. Obviously, Sala has other motive, whether you feel like addressing it or just agreeing that there's something else there, that it's not just you that's pulling him in, it's what you bring to the table that is pulling him in. It's definitely not your looks, as we've seen from his friends' discussions on it. He has pulled many beautiful women, but that's not what he was after. Obviously, he wants stability, to not be extradited back to, or not even extradited. He doesn't want to have to go back to Syria. He doesn't want to have to leave Kuwait against his will, especially if that's where he's grown up. But he realizes that his outlook on life there is getting pretty bleak, and you were his life raft, so to speak. And I'm going to touch up on that a little bit more later. Actually, I think I'm going to share it in the podcast more in depth, just so that this doesn't get drug out so long, because it's already going to be on the long side. But there's definitely more to it. And I did find out a lot of things through Google searching and through people that are more in tune with what Middle Eastern life is like over in Kuwait. So we will be discussing that. But people shit on this relationship just because it's not an authentic relationship. It has motive behind it. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that for right now.
Hey, he doesn't love you. Do you think he's actually gonna love you?
Also, on the Farida topic, she claims that it would be difficult for people to believe that Sala would love you and want to be with you over women closer to his age that can provide him children, because of their lifestyle over there in the Middle East and what their values and morals and such dictate over there. It is more valuable to him, more traditional of him to go for a woman that is able to provide him heirs, able to provide him a lineage, whereas going with a woman who is barren, bankrupt, and horrible with finances, can't keep her mouth shut, airs her dirty laundry online, and constantly talks shit on people online, you can see where that would be a little off-putting for somebody that is from a culture where all of that is no, they don't want that. So that's also a reason why we see the red flags of Sala has more invested into this outside of a marriage or relationship. And Farida's just bringing that to light. Yes, she may word it a little differently and may come across a little differently, but the same concept is there, the same thought is there, that she is coming from the aspect of a Middle Eastern traditional Muslim person.
Like, if they're attacking you, so they are not real beezers. Yeah, exactly. It's President's Day. Talk about Breezing used to sell feet pics and ingrown pics. I don't care enough about Breezing. I heard she
Yeah, I won't be touching on this drama. I know a lot of things were brought up about Breezen. It's none of my business. I don't react to her. I don't do reactions of her. I don't even podcast on her. The last time I spoke on her was when I covered the garlic bread drama. And even then, I didn't really involve her much because it's just not worth it. I have had a little bit of dispute with her in the past over just being dramatic and pulling people into things that had no business being pulled into and then knowingly risking things. But that's not what this reaction's about. We're focusing on Miss Chantal. So back to it.
beat up her grandma or something. Sorry, I can't even say that with a straight face. I mean, it's horrible, but it still makes me laugh. That happens a lot. Hey, Rhonda! Mag? Okay, who else? What was I gonna say? Oh, did your parents say Beezer yet? Yeah. So, listen, I know you people think that, you people, well, whatever, for lack of a better term. Hey, by the way, can hijabis wear earrings outside like this? I'm kidding. I know you think that I probably like research my name all day long. No, I research my name sometimes, and I just like I don't know. I shouldn't do this, but to watch an actual whole video, no.
We have the pinky up again. I love when the pinky makes an appearance because then you know she's about to run her mouth. We know that she researches her name a lot. We know that she watches a lot of the content revolved around her, or else she wouldn't comment on it. The fact that she focuses so much on reaction channels and commentary on herself is the reason that her channel has went to shit. Because instead of focusing on her content and providing something entertaining for the people that are watching, she instead comments on the things said about her through commentary and has to make it a big deal, has to focus on it, has to make threats about it, yada yada. I think if she invested the time into her content and then just ignored everything else, that eventually she would see it would taper off and fade off to an extent, and she could focus solely on her content. But that's never going to happen because she can't keep her mouth shut. She always has to insert herself to make herself feel better. Instead of reaching out and getting actual therapy, she uses her hug box to self-soothe, and it doesn't work like that. Like, you have to actually make steps in improving your outlook instead of picking out all the negativity and then just raging off of it. Either drop it and move on, or continue to do like we're doing and lose your fucking viewership.
Imagine if I did. Cat killer, thank you. She got arrested in 2008 for battery on an elderly woman. Yeah. Hi, Carolina. So, Sarah Jane and her lovely Ozzy Osbourne looking friend over there. I knew they're always okay. I literally caught them saying, I hate her. Farida's up there. A whole grown-ass woman with kids and a husband and a family has the time to every single day be on a panel with Sarah Plain and talk about me and be like, I hate her. I hate her. Guess what, Farida? For hating me, you sure watch a lot of me, honey. You can just...
Chantal, dear, you also watch a lot of reaction channels and feel the need to have to comment on what they say about you. So, also in turn, you either dox them or talk shit on how they look or not having a life partner, or their relationships with people. So kind of the pot calling the kettle black, the hypocrisy of it all, the things that you claim on them. You can't sit there and say that these people are, making content discussing you, but then go out of your way to sit here and make full live streams discussing them and talking shit on them to your hug box. Like, you both are doing it. You both are profiting off of it. It's just what's happening. No one's better than the other. There, I said it.
Guess what? There's an X here. You can hit that X and I disappear from your life forever. So you must like something if you're watching me every day. I don't know how you can stand hanging, or is it it can't be an excuse to hang out with Sarah Plain. Good grief.
I mean, Chantal, you can do the very same thing. Close out of the reaction channels. Stop reacting to them. Stop giving them airtime. Just stop. Because the more you fucking fuel the fire, the more you're giving them an audience and taking away from your own. Until you start realizing that, I think it's going to get a lot worse for you.
Imagine hanging out with Sarah Jane, what that would be like. Imagine playing cards with her. It's your turn. Doing anything with her. Like,
again, taking into the account that, how would it be hanging out with you during the day, talking shit on people on YouTube that you've never met, strangers on the internet, constantly having to check in on your husband in fear that he's cheating on you. And don't tell me that that's not the reason that you have to have contact with him every hour that you guys are awake, because you can't convince me otherwise. We saw through the little squabble that you guys had upon coming back to Canada, him not being in contact with you when you wanted him to be, and then you thinking things are over and him not knowing how to fucking fix it. You went into meltdown mode and aired your dirty laundry on the internet, and then backpedaled afterward when he decided that he wanted you back, because of course he'd be losing out on a lot more than if the relationship fucked up. He would be he would be in the hurt more than you would be. And I will discuss that more later in the podcast. Also, imagine doing anything with you and then having to hear your heavy breathing, farting, burping, musty, sweaty. You don't wash your hijabs every day, so they're probably really musty smelling. Plus you drop food on your hijabs all the time, on your clothes, wipe your mouth with your shirt. I'm sure you're no real treat either, Chantal. On top of everything, you just have to be fucking evil to everybody and talk shit on everybody. So who wants to be around that 24/7, honestly?
No. So you can hate me all you want. I don't even know you. Why are you going to hate me for? I'm endangering people. Give me a break. I've been double fisting burgers and driving since I was born. All right? Thank you. Jessica Meska is going to Kuwait. She's not going anywhere. She is not going anywhere. You think that guy's broke?
I love that she first called him broke, then backtracked and said that she didn't know his financial situation. She just can't, shut her mouth, can she? Can't you read a comment and then just not fucking give an opinion on it? Because they're trying to get this information out of you. They're trying to pit you against his Salah's friends, and then in turn have Salah's friends fucking fighting each other over this. Not to say that it's not warranted, because they're all fucking shady as shit. But do you not realize what's trying to be done here, and you're just fucking feeding into it? Like really?
Anyway, I don't know. I don't know his financial situation, but that's funny. But it's not a game to be in married men's DMs. But then again, maybe she heard that they can have 4 wives. I don't know. They're way too invested in everything you do. They're still, go look. I bet you they're live right now talking about me. Milk tea, bald FFG, court cases for non-payment of rent for Rita. In love with Allah. Doo-doo, punching bag, just breezing. A+, what the heck? I'm not part of that crappy community. I am not. That's just really sad. It couldn't be me. There's no way. And
I like how she's willing to die on this hill of like monogamy, saying that it could never be her to have another woman in her life sharing her husband. Yet she had no issue sharing Nader and eating Dee Dee. She had no issue cheating on BB while still living under his roof. She had no issue cheating on Pete's with BB and then moving in with BB. Like, her ideals of relationships are so flawed, and the fact that she thinks that she can give advice or any kind of information on what a relationship should be. Maybe have a successful relationship first, Chantal. Maybe like, I don't know, 10, 15 years down the road, if y'all haven't cheated on each other or used each other for entertainment or monetary value and still have managed to keep together after all of that, maybe then you can make some comments on it. But for right now, who are you to make any fucking broad statement on what or who or how a relationship should be conducted? Like, fuck off.
Anyway, Salah would never. Which brings me to the topic. The one thing you're trying, Farida's shaming women who can't have kids, which is so disrespectful and disgusting. Yeah.
Again, Farida, of course, may not have worded it the best, but she's not coming out of a place of just fucking blind hatred. She's coming out of a place of knowledge. Most, I'm going to put air quotes, most Middle Eastern Muslim, traditional Muslim men are going to favor a woman who is able to produce heirs or a lineage of some kind for them. If you are a barren woman, elderly woman, older woman, you're not financially stable, you like, what are you bringing to the table, so to speak? Because if we were to go broad spectrum, in most cases in the Western world, you'd be fine. But Middle Eastern and more conservative, you're under a microscope. And to look at your past and your present, what are you bringing to the table to make you a favorable and a conservative Muslim household? Nothing you bring to the table. Maybe money, but even that is fleeting. Like, you're not making as much as you used to. So I reiterate, what are you bringing to the table? That's what Farida's trying to get across. She's not shaming you for being infertile. And the fact that you say that she's shaming me for my infertility. No, she's shaming you because of you just being a horrible person. She's just bringing to light that most Middle Eastern ways of thinking would go against everything that you are. That's just my 2 cents on that. Also, this argument of like, this is why she's online all the time because her husband can't stand her. What's your excuse, Chantal? You're online all the time. You're online just as much as they are. And like, not even 6 months ago, you were online so much that I think people fucking got sick of seeing you. Like, that's not an indication of how somebody's relationship is. And like, good on her for having a life outside of her husband. Like, your relationship shouldn't be centric around that one person. It should be a healthy balance of other friendships, that person, and then you having a life of your own. So this just shows that she has a life of her own outside of her relationship with her husband. It's not an indicator of it being bad or good. It's just saying that she has something outside of it. Maybe you should take a page from that book, because the toxicity of having to check in on your husband every hour on the hour because you're afraid that he's going to be cheating on you, for a lack of a better phrase at the moment, it's toxic. It's not sustainable. If this is how you're going to move on going forward, how are you guys ever going to get past that? If anything, I feel like you should be the one that's more watched than him, because you have more of a track record at being unfaithful than he does.
It really is. Yeah, you heard her say that, or something? Like, I heard her say, do you really think that a man is going to be with you just for you? Yeah. Stay mad. Why not? You think anyone's gonna, be with you as the alternative? Like, do you honestly, maybe that's why she's live all the time. Maybe her husband can't stand her. I know I wouldn't. Like, what? Like, what? Why? Because I'm fat? You're literally best friends with Sarah Jane, who is like 500 pounds. Okay? So I don't know where you come off fat shaming me and saying, oh, I'm fat. Let's debunk this right now. Why Sally wouldn't want me? Number one, he doesn't live in the Stone Ages, okay? Like, people love each other for more than just banging out babies like a pinball machine, honey, all right? Like, anyway, no. Number one, I'm pretty, okay? That has a lot, and I don't mean that to be conceited. I'm being very matter of fact. Being pretty gets you a lot of privilege.
All right, this right here has to be the most delusional that she's ever been. I take that back. Probably not the most delusional, but pretty up there. She claims to have pretty privilege, even for a big girl. That she is pretty despite being fat, which I'm not saying she's unattractive, but I'm saying like she doesn't hold pretty privilege. She's average, honestly. And this isn't even a true representation of what she actually looks like, because she uses so many filters to alter the construction of her face. Like, she elongates her face, she makes her eyes bigger, she narrows her nose. Like, it's not a factual representation of what she actually looks like. And we don't get to see that very often. Sometimes the filter slips. Sometimes she's forced to go without filters in certain situations. We have seen her without them before, which makes us question sometimes why she uses the filters that she does, because it's not good representation of her authentic self. Especially now being more modest, you would think she would be more apt to do more natural so people know what she actually looks like. But no, the vanity in her could never. The vanity could never. And she has to have like 50 million filters to change the structure of her face. Really, at this point, she doesn't really have the room to comment on anybody else's looks. She hides hers.
I'm just saying, you can get away with a lot if you're pretty. Julia Saberton, welcome to Very Important Bees. Ready, Set, Bees. You can get away with things like being fat, for example. So, which is why, you know, I don't know. Viva la bees. She will throw everything away to sell Bluetooth selfie sticks for help. So, what was the other thing? Oh yeah, I don't have a job. No, you're right, but I still make thousands of dollars, so that's fine. What else? What else was problem? Oh, I can't have children. So you're infertility shaming me. Which, like, are there not any other people in your chat that can't have children? Women? Like what? We're judging women? What is this? On if they can pop out babies or not? Really? Okay, you have some that you're ignoring to hate on me, so... I'm a stay-at-home wife. My vlogs are going to be called Stay-at-Home Wife when I'm in Kuwait. I'm a stay-at-home legend, yeah. Ready for the Canada chapter to end. Jessica Muska says Allah is way hotter than Salah. Yeah, okay. Whatever, troll. I should block you for that. You know that? Anyway, so which brings me to another point. So like I said, I can't even make a little video about how amazing my husband is without people going, oh, you should have seen. So then I start hearing, you should have seen the hot gamer girls chat he was in last week. Number one, I know everything Salah does. We don't have secrets between each other.
Okay, she claims to know everything Salah does, but she does realize, I don't know if she does or not, she could be totally delusional in the fact that he could be telling her that he's going to bed at a certain time, but then staying up after to be on these games and talk to people. Now, also, he could be on these games and talking to people without recording it for content. So she would have no way of knowing who he was talking to in his chats. Because unless you save the VOD in Twitch or another program, it's not saved. And how many people are going to actually come to you with that drama or know his schedule enough to catch him on while he's having conversations with other people? The bottom line is you don't know what he is doing online. You only know what he tells you and shows you. Men do lie and cheat. Not saying that he is, but there's the possibility there. And the fact that he is able to openly talk with women on these platforms, even if it's innocent and about games. Why weren't you able to be around Pete's? Like, the double standard is there. You can't speak to men. You can't be in the same room as men. Yet he's able to have friendly conversation with the opposite sex with no issue. That's the issue. And again, to reiterate, you don't know what he's doing. You are not there holding his hand 24/7, especially when you are in Canada right now. Like, of course, you're probably more mindful of what's going on when you're there, but all the times that you were there in Kuwait, he was going off to friends' houses still to play games and hang out. How do you know he wasn't talking to people then? Like, there's a certain level of trust in the relationship, but I think because in the back of your mind, you also know that, like, there's motive for why he's in this relationship with you, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. that's your deal. But I think in the back of your mind, you know there's motive there, so you question everything and are super vigilant about knowing what he's doing at all times. But that's not healthy. It's not.
What makes him exceptional to me is how well he makes me feel assured and comfortable in like our relationship. You know, like cheating for us is a huge no-no, and that includes just like, you know, number one, him going into somebody's live stream as support is not cheating, okay? Like what happened was, it was one time like 3 weeks ago.
Also, the not having secrets from each other. Obviously, this is a bit of a stretch because we know when she first got back to Canada, she had told him that she was not going to touch pot or anything or any of her past vices. And lo and behold, she found leftovers, apparently, of her prior vices and decided to take them and then continued to lie about it online, and only fessed up after it was brought up numerous times by people that have watched her for quite a while and know the telltale signs of it that she was using again, and still I would say heavily dependent upon it to cope. So truthful with one another all the time, that's a little bit of a stretch. Also, I found this part super funny because she's like, and we're both against cheating, yada yada blah blah. Are we both against cheating? Because haven't you cheated in like all of your prior relationships? I mean, even when you were seeing Nodder, you were still sleeping with other men. Even though you were trying to say that what you had with Nodder was a relationship, you were still admitting to sleeping with other men and going on like the dating apps and shit and meeting up with these random men. Not to mention the married man that you met up with on multiple occasions to sleep with, and then sat there and talked shit about his wife and his children. Make it make sense, Chantal. Stay mad.
And it was somebody that was like a beezer. Like this person used to be a beezer, but they know of me and they're like a follower of me. And she supports his gaming chat. So he has some like gamer people through his gaming channel, whatever. And it was like one time, and that's about it. So like what? And there was nothing sexual, inappropriate. It was all
Oh, give me a break. For one, why does it matter how long ago it was? Why does it matter how often it happened? The fact that it happened. But yeah, to sit there and like try to deflect off of the why he's doing it for like, well, it was so long ago. It was only one time. How do we know that? Also, like I said before, if he's not recording it and not saving it somewhere, he could be having conversations with people and none of us are aware of it.
regarding gaming. So what's the big deal? And it was public. So obviously, if you want it to be secretive, you know. So keep reaching is all I have to say. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. I mean, if you want to, oh, well, you should see the people he's talking to, honey. Where's your man, Sarah Jane? Like, where's your man? You have no man. You have the nerve to even comment.
Also, I hate this statement she makes every time somebody questions her relationship is, where is your man? Where is your man? Chantal, you only recently got into a relationship that isn't about having to pay. Well, you're still technically paying the man to sleep with you, but where you're in a relationship where you're not being, well, I can't even say taken advantage of. Shit, you're just in a relationship and it's still fairly new. You have a quote unquote marriage, But like, who are you to dictate what relationships are and how people should go about relationships, or whether or not they're valid for the reasons that they're coming after your relationship because they're not currently in one? Maybe their last relationship was like 20 years. Maybe their spouse died. Maybe they're a widow. Maybe they had a bad divorce. How does that negate the fact that your relationship is shit and there's motive behind it and you are just gullible as shit and you're like searching for daddy so bad? Like, this is obviously a daddy issue and you are just clinging to that father figure for dear life. You want that romance, you want that father figure in your life, you want the security, but you are with men that can't provide that for you. Even Salah can't provide that for you. He runs a fucking perfume, not even runs it. He is a business partner to a perfume company that makes fucking perfume in somebody's apartment and wholesales it through WhatsApp. They don't have a brick and mortar store. Their warehouse is probably just another apartment building. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt with that. It's probably just another apartment building, not an actual warehouse. And they don't even have full ownership of it. And if they do, they're paying somebody under the table for that full ownership, which means it's an illegal business. You would think you guys would try to like keep the drama to a minimum to not shed light on the issue, because if this were to come out, y'all are fucked. Salah is fucked. This could mean deportation back to Syria, which we're going to talk on more in the podcast tonight. I have so much information to share that I have found via a Redditor who is in law, settled in the Middle East, and had a lot of information to share on the subject, which I'm going to share on tonight, and kind of bounce it off of Liam and have a discussion on it, as well as like the complexity that is Chantal and Salah's relationship and their friendships abroad. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. That's the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed the react. I am going to get this edited and up, hopefully very quickly, and I will see you guys later on for the podcast. Thank you guys for listening, and I will see you soon. Bye.
On my relationship at all, period. Like, you don't have one. So, like, yeah, that's my flex. You know why that's my flex over these people? Because these people have a heck of a lot to say about my relationship for people who don't have any. You know? So if you're going to point out things that, you know, are wrong in my relationship, make up things, because there's nothing wrong in my relationship, by the way.